Hi, it's Paul Ryan, and welcome to Sound Threads. It's a weekly broadcast on music. Each week, the show will dive deep into the world of music, including 3 elements to each show. First, I'll cover the world of music itself, and each show will cover some aspect of music. Some examples are, we'll look at the earliest beginnings of music. We'll look at top artists and what made them successful. And we'll look at the music industry revenue and how it breaks down, and much more. Those are just a few. Then I'll play a song of mine and provide a bit of background on how and why it was written. And finally, each show will end with an episode from a story about a musician who goes from the very humblest of beginnings and on to stardom. So stay tuned now for today's All About the World of Music segment in Sound Threads. These past few weeks, I've looked at the very top artists in terms of unit sales, and we did a show on Garth Brooks, did a show on the Beatles, did a show on the Eagles and Elvis, and even before that, the top sellers, number 5 through 12, I believe, we did a show covering briefly each one of them. And this was all musical genres in the USA. Today, I'd like to return to my own home genre, so to speak, acoustic country music. Actually, I'm going to even venture over to its larger sibling, bluegrass, to look at some of the musicians who I consider to be the top players of acoustic instruments. First, I'll look back. Before we get to today, I'll look at yesterday. In earlier shows, I discussed 2 artists, Jerry Douglas and Tony Rice, with regard to their ability to pull tone out of their instruments and as groundbreakers on their instruments. Not surprisingly, these 2 are also trailblazers of modern-day bluegrass music. But there's a third, Earl Scruggs. In my opinion, these 3, Douglas on dobro, Rice on guitar, Scruggs on banjo, they've changed bluegrass and acoustic music through their instruments. So what about today? Can people match what these originals accomplished? I'll say yes. For one, bluegrass music is expanding its reach. There's more people that are interested in listening to it and playing it. What was once a regional domain has opened up internationally. Actually, when I was at IBMA, it was a few years ago now, I watched an Italian band, and they brought the house down. Amazing instrumentalists. Countries in Eastern Europe and Asia are also churning out some wonderful players on mandolin, banjo, guitar, double bass, fiddle, dobro, and other acoustic instruments. I think we in acoustic country and bluegrass, us fans, are in for quite a ride over the coming years. And for today, I'll just touch on a few of my personal favorites. Number 1, not number 1 necessarily, but certainly one of my top favorites, Molly Tuttle. Since moving to Nashville in 2015, Molly, a native of California, has been welcomed into folk music, bluegrass, Americana, and traditional country communities. Her guitar playing, in my mind, is second to none. Plus, she's a songwriter and a singer. She is a repeat IBMA, International Bluegrass Association Guitar Player of the Year, and the first woman in history in IBMA to win that honor. And I can remember a video from, must be 10 years ago now. It was called The Tuttle Kids. Molly and her 2 brothers were playing so fast, even as youngsters. It was one of those jaw-dropping moments. Billy Strings, another young artist who moved to Nashville same year, 2015, is Michigan native Billy Strings. His guitar playing, to my ears, is a bit like Rice in terms of the clarity of notes delivered at breakneck speeds. He says he didn't set out to be a singer, but his vocals, especially the bluesy ones, are touching and expressive and define what a great male bluegrass artist should sound like. Nobody, and I mean nobody, sings hurtin' songs like Billy Strings. Donna Ulisse, she's another one of my favorites. The songwriter in me just can't resist mentioning Donna Ulisse. Her songwriting and powerful vocals put her right at the top of contemporary artists in my book. In a separate session, I covered tone. Some instrumentalists are able to squeeze that last little bit of tone out of their strings, out of their instruments, and it gives you a mood, a feel. Donna, in my opinion, is able to do that very, very same thing with vocals. As noted in a Bluegrass Today article, quote, "The very first thing you're likely to notice when you listen to Donnie Ulisse, whether live or on a recording, is the voice. Variously described as rapturous and angelic, strong, supple, warm, rich, companionable, and crystalline, that voice commands your attention, adapting readily to whatever song she is singing, wrapping itself around the lyrics and imbuing them with just the right emotion needed to bring the song home." End quote. That pretty well sums it up. So Billy Strings, Donnie Ulisse, Molly Tuttle are for me some of the top artists in acoustic country and bluegrass music today. There are many others, too many really to cover in one show. A few: Dan Paisley, Del McCoury, Dale Ann Bradley, banjo players like, I love banjo, Kristen Scott Benson, Alison Brown. There's so many. Next week, we're going to do a transformational show. I'll move away from artists and top-selling artists and top acoustic artists and take a look way back in time to when music began. Not just classical or rock or bluegrass, but all music. When was the very first music played that we know of? Who and when created the very first lyrics? And what was the subject? And today's song is Dixie, I Call It Home. Having visited and performed in the South many times over my life, I wrote a song about its unique and homespun personality. I'm Canadian, though, and so I collaborated with my friend and Nashville-based performer John Foster to bring it home. John's a huge talent. He's performed with the Beach Boys and many other artists. I hope you enjoy Dixie, I Call It Home, performed by John.
If God picked up a painter's brush and looked down from on high, when he found the perfect canvas down below, it would be just like the Georgia night, awash in starlit fields, beneath the silver moon, moving slow. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, and by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. As a young man, my aim was high. I'd make my dreams come true. Southern pride, the quiver for my bow. Outlasting kings and wars that lives in every southern soul. The same pride years ago Granddaddy had known. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. These are the things that always comfort me. Something way inside, something you can't see. You can feel it in the cotton fields, in the cities and the towns, and by the clear blue streams where cool water rushes down. That feel is so familiar, no matter where you go. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home. Some folks call it Dixie, I call it home.
It's time now to take a look at what is going on in the musical life of Freddie Spaghetti.
In our episode last week, Freddie was focused on some plastic flowers sitting on a decorative mantel unit that his mom had bought for him. He was going to write his very first song, and he was focused on those flowers. Flowers! I can write about flowers. After all, hey, Tom Petty did it. Dolly Parton did it too. Miley Cyrus, the Stones. Pete Seeger wrote about flowers. Geez, why not? Freddie thinks. Okay. Where do I start? He strums a C chord. He gazes down at the pad of paper. I'm on it. He strums an A minor. Okay, that's good. That sounds nice. Good. Freddie repeats that C to A minor probably a dozen times, and then he just suddenly stops playing. He looks down at the pad of paper, and it stares right back at him, still white, still blank. He keeps staring at the paper, as if it will self-write something down if he can just will it hard enough. Okay, maybe the phone is better. I bet the pros don't use paper anymore. Who uses paper these days? This thought is self-admonishing and at the same time self-congratulatory. He remembers a YouTube video he once saw where a songwriter suggested that writing music is a craft and that everyone approaches it a little differently. This person went on to say that there are really no hard and fast rules about writing songs. That makes sense, Freddie thinks. Beethoven wrote symphonies on his apartment wall, for crying out loud. Freddie punches up word mobile on the phone. And up pops a nice, fresh, blank screen. Minutes pass. This is writer's block. Nah, he hasn't written anything down. There's not a single thing. No, it's not writer's block, you dummy. You have to be a writer to get writer's block. There's no denying that getting started was becoming very tough for Freddie. He stares at his phone screen, still white, still blank, just like the paper. As if to dismiss this traitor of a cell phone, he turns it off. Yeah, paper's better after all. Man, I can't believe how hungry I am. He'd just eaten a while back, but the fridge that he goes to grab a soda and then some ham and cheese slices. Another hour passes. It's getting late. The page in front of him remains as it has since the first moment he started, totally blank. The phone's off. He's played that C to A minor progression over and over and over. And even add a little wrinkle, few connecting notes and chords. Finally, Freddie looks over at the guitar. You're a big help, he thinks. He then squirts out some cleaner, gently polishes the guitar with a cloth, and puts it back in its case, along with the blank notepad. Songwriting day 1 is all done.
Thanks for listening today. Remember to come right back here next week for another edition of Sound Threads.